Am I the asshole? For saying no and pulling my arm away from a special needs teen. This weekend I was at an amusement park that gets quite busy. I was standing waiting for an event to start. Friend went to grab snacks when I felt something brush against my arm. I didn't think much of it because, like I said, this park gets busy and sometimes that can happen. A few moments later, I felt another brush against my arm. I glance back real quick and I see a teen 16, in a wheelchair. Shortly after, I feel a hand grab onto my arm. I pull away and try to move a little further. The teen grabs my arm again and starts patting me. I say no and pull away to leave. As I start walking away, I hear the mom yelling out that her kid is special needs and is being loving and doesn't hurt anyone. Pretty sure she called me ableist, but at that point I had already walked off. Am I the asshole? I don't like being grabbed. I don't want any physical contact with someone I don't know. Should I have handled it better? Not the asshole. Special needs or not, you have the right to remove yourself from a situation where you are being touched when you don't want to be. It doesn't sound like you were aggressive or rude and just said no while creating some physical distance. The mom needs to work to ensure her kid isn't touching people they don't know, as in the future it could put them in a dangerous situation. Not the asshole. It's not ableist to not want to be touched by a stranger, and it doesn't make you an asshole to say no and pull away. Mom's an asshole for not respecting that. However, loving her teen is not everyone wants to be loved like that. If her teen is unable to understand boundaries, she should be the one to understand them and follow them. Nata. You shouldn't have needed to pull your arm away. The teen's mother should have pulled their arm away and reminded them we don't touch others without their consent. Not the asshole. You simply gave a natural response to being grabbed by someone you don't know. Special needs or not, if you don't want to be touched, grabbed, you don't have to accept it. I think I would have felt uncomfortable as well, especially if I'm caught off guard. Not the asshole. Even special needs people can be taught not to touch strangers, and they can be taught the meaning of the word no. You don't have to let anyone touch you if you don't want it. Not even if the person is a special needs teen. Not the asshole. You have a right not to be touched by a stranger in a public place. That trumps all other needs. It's not ableist to have physical boundaries. Actually, this kind of reminds me vaguely of a post a few years back from an OP whose sister insisted upon licking her elbow. Literally, she'd enter the room and the kid would rush to lick her for some reason. She ended up putting some non-toxic, but exceedingly bitter stuff on her that caused the kid revulsion and a meltdown, but even then I didn't judge the OP as the asshole. Using their special needs as a justification for a kid not being managed and being allowed to randomly accost people just fuels public enmity. Not the asshole. Nata. Special needs or not, you're not obligated to let people touch you. Not the asshole. I work in a special education environment. The words hands to self are as automatic as they come for me. You are not required to tolerate being touched when it is unwelcome. Not the asshole op. I had a similar experience, in which I was grabbed from behind and I thought it was my boyfriend at the time. When I turned around, it was a very special needs girl. I almost started screaming, but luckily my boyfriend was there to get me away from the scene. Not the asshole dad to a kid with special needs. My son's special needs does not give him the right to do whatever he wants. Be rude, loud, touch other people, act inappropriately. Being a parent to a special needs child definitely has its moments. It can be challenging while also being so rewarding. I totally get it. However, this mom seems to lack any social awareness. Loving or not, you didn't want to be touched and that is your right. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Sounds like mom was having a rough day and missed out on a teachable moment for her child. That teen's mom is negligent. I have PTSD and if someone touches me more than an accidentally brush, I tend to react first, turn around after. And by that I mean my elbow flies backwards. And I'm fairly certain I'm not the only person with this problem. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Sounds like the mom has used ableist before, as it seemed to come out quite naturally. Maybe she needs to stick a bit closer to her child to monitor the touching. It would certainly make me uncomfortable, and I think you did the right thing. Not the asshole. Special needs never trumps consent. Ableist because you were made very uncomfortable. People like her make it harder for people to see us as normal. Nata. Your body, your rules. If the kid needs loving, then the mother is right there to provide them with stimulus. Like a hug or a giving them their own arm to hold. Not the asshole. If he's so special needs he can't keep his hands to himself, he shouldn't be in public. Shame on his mom for totally enabling his bad behavior. Naya. I work with special needs kids and adults, and sometimes it can be dangerous. They can bite, claw, or squeeze you very tightly. I know it sounds bad, but it's better to err on the side of caution since you don't know this person. Not the asshole. Special needs doesn't mean they get the right to ignore consent. Something I drill into my daughter's head. Not the asshole, but she was for yelling at you. You have zero obligation to let strangers grab you. I don't care what their needs are. Not the asshole. Who on earth would tolerate such a thing? Not the asshole. Just because somebody is special needs doesn't mean they get to touch random strangers without consent. Not the asshole. That kid is going to get in trouble for their bad boundaries because the parents are doing nothing to enforce boundaries. Not the asshole. The mother is. She needs to be helping that kid learn how to live well in the world. Grabbing random people is not okay, and to live well her kid needs to know that. I feel bad for the kid tbh. You have the absolute right to determine who can touch your body. You said, no, and you pulled away. As long as you weren't rough, or overly sharp with the kid, there is no foul. Not the asshole. You don't have to be nice or polite when strangers start touching you. I would have been way more rude in this situation, especially if my assumption that the teen was male is correct. A very loud "stop touching me" can do wonders sometimes. Better? You didn't smack him or hurt him in any way. You said no. Yes, maybe you could have said, "I don't want to be touched," or "Please don't touch me," but I don't think that you in any way did anything wrong. In fact, many disabilities are invisible, and for all his mom knew, you could have had them. It is absolutely unreasonable to expect yourself to be touched just because he is special needs. Not the asshole. Just because he has special needs doesn't mean he gets to violate people's bodily autonomy. How does he or mom know that being touched by strangers may be triggering for you? Mom could have easily explained his behavior. "Sorry, he touched you without your permission, he's trying to show affection," or encouraged him not to touch you since he doesn't know you. But he doesn't get to keep touching you if that makes you uncomfortable, regardless. I don't understand how this is a question. One of the things the special ed teachers at my school would always emphasize is to not let their students touch you in ways you found uncomfortable. The whole school was practically involved in teaching boundaries to these kids from kindergarten to graduation, and this was the 90s. Surely that's standard, right? Kid's gonna get pepper sprayed or something if mom keeps acting like this is okay. Nata. Not the asshole. Your reaction was natural. Mom might have said something sooner rather than later. Not the asshole. There are ways to establish boundaries and consent with everyone, and the mom should be more proactive about creating a space for her kid to do so. Otherwise, they're going to get in trouble one day. Not the asshole. I don't care about someone's disability, don't touch me. Not the asshole. My cousin is special needs, likes to hug people. We do not let him hug strangers unless they are clearly willing, arms out waiting for a hug. Shame on the mother for not being more responsible. I would have walked away as well. I don't like strangers touching me no matter what their health situation is. A bit creepy.